fan to the back, parry and punch. Is it working? Close the form. Okay, deep breathing. Okay. Okay, good. So let's kind of look ourselves in the mirror. So we start off with the form, face this way. Okay, so so you want to find yourself in front of a mirror somehow so you can see yourself. So, ready? So we start off feet like this, preparation. You're going to turn. Now you face this corner. It's okay. So David, we're going to look over here now. Yeah. So square the shoulders, square your hips. So you look at yourself, see if you feel balanced. So your legs should be further out, more. Yeah, you have to work your legs. Relax the hips. Shoulders comes this way. Yeah, and yeah. So you have to kind of go deeper into the stance. Then you turn. And relax the shoulder. Shift. Touch down. And then the foot comes out. See, when the foot comes out, then everything kind of settles together. Then we turn. Then check your weight. Step out. Brush knee and push. Toe out. Check, or if you can, step through and push. Sit back, turn. Check your weight. Sink in the stance. Relax the hips. Open the stance. And that's all strength and flexibility. Strum the lute. Repulse the monkey fold as you bend the knee and go forward. And relax. So like it's a wave. Just do a couple of more. Aim toward your center. Turn your shoulders. So you look at the arm, it's from here. And then you have to kind of guide it into the movement where your elbow starts to straighten out. Otherwise, if you don't sort of wave into that movement like the here and then time it with, so the arm doesn't just do that. It doesn't have enough sinking. So in sinks, you have to relax the shoulder. So when you time the movement, then you sink, fold, and sink. And you hold the ball, step out, grasp the sparrow's tail. instead of turning, we're just going to step up. Ward off. Roll back. Now the foot stays down. Press. Sit back. Over the top. So for it to go over the top, you kind of have to roll your upper shoulder area, the upper shoulder girdle, kind of cover like that. So that's how the body creates some of these connected movements, because your body has to become part of that. So if you have this big globe in front of you like this, you're coming down and then settle into it. So that's like a wave. So when movements don't have that softness, it's because the cycle of the movement is not, smooth enough, or it doesn't incorporate enough of the body, and not driven from the leg. Because when you go down, if it's just your arm, it's uncontrolled, because you don't have the ability to sink the elbow. You don't have the ability to come from the shoulders. So that's where your body has to kind of cycle. You see, when we're here and we step out, we sink. It's a combination. If you just do this, that's just your leg, right? When you're here and you open, you're actually turning on this leg, right? So if you're in a position, you just do this. That's really just that's an isolated movement. That's like doing this rather than doing this. You see, one is moving with the body, but in the leg side of it is harder to do, because this is holding your weight, and it doesn't want to shift because holding your body weight on that one leg. So your hips, your leg has to actually move from here, and that takes you out there. Then when you turn here, you turn into the hip here. So you turn, and then you open. That's how you open your stance. So it takes a lot more control, but it takes a lot more of a kinetic sequence in the leg, because just doing this, that's two dimensions. I went from here to here, then I plop it down. But because you're trying to tie your leg movements into the body movement, how do you turn? You have to turn from here. Now, because I'm turning from here, my leg can be softer. So same idea with the arms. If my legs are driving me forward, my arm can be softer. If I let my hand pull my body, then it's disconnected. See? So the concept is consistent in all the Tai Chi. It should be the same. The only way to build that is actually to work through it and understand the concept, the principle of, I call it the summation of components, but also integration of body. And then, now when I turn here, I have to come down to lift. Right? When I turn my waist and I stroke down, and I turn and I stroke down, if I fold like this to press and I sit back, my arms can be soft because my sit back is taking me to the back, to the rear. And then I can sink to come forward. So this is where your elbows and knees are. Sink and come forward. Okay. See, so that's push. So those are concepts, but we have to try to build that into the work, the footwork and the body form. And then when we get to after grasses power, we'll go to single whip, right? So we step out, and then we turn. If we were to shift like this, allows us to touch down, fold the elbow, the palm strikes face, right? Then we have to relax and then do this. And where does that go? Go here. And then we continue up, and then we're there. So when you lift, feel like your legs are being pulled up by your arms. If you lead with the hands here from the shoulders, and then you would kick. Then here we go down, and then go up. Then we go down again, lift, and then kick. And then we would go down. The downward posture. And then we go up and lift the knee. Right? So lift, feel like you're lifting the knee with the hand. And then when we're here, we step out, go down. Now when this goes up, it's like you're pulling this leg up. See, so this is pulling up just like we lift the knee when we do the drill. Insert the needle is on the opposite side, and that pulls this knee. Golden cockerel, it goes this way. So it's upper lower integration kind of connection, like imaginary thread is drawing it up. Yeah, it sinks, but it doesn't pull in too much. Yeah. Now, some people turn the palm out. So the Yang style, this is the traditional golden cockerel. The modern goes to here. It might go a little bit higher for the modern because they get bigger movements. But when you rise, before you have to rise before you fall or before you sink. So you sink when everything settles. But in the golden cockerel, we don't actually do this. We just go to the top. But then you go down. And so then it's like your elbow meets the knee, you know. So there's always a constant like connection between the movement. That's what makes the movement look integrated and has a certain characteristic. So that's body form. So then after that downward posture, when we're here, we hold the ball again. Now we step to the corner, we lift up and turn. That's Jade Lady Work Shuttle. Pretty standard on all of them. Hold the ball. Now you have to swing it all the way around. Right? Then from here, swing it all the way around and then go up. So Jade Lady Work Shuttle, if you're coming up, come up through your center like this and then finish it over here. If you do the Jade Lady Work Shuttle here and you're turning and you just go like this, like you're doing a high block, then you can't use your waist. But if you can use your waist, then you can finish the push. The waist is the Yale bull. The waist area is really your back. They just use the term waist in English, but it's the Yale bull, the back area. Well, this waist girdle, like this whole section from the navel to your sternum is your waist, because that's all, including all those, ribs and all the back. So here. See, so conceptually it's the same as we did yesterday, right, Rob? When we're talking about yesterday, when you were talking about this, and then this, and then this. Once the body learns, the method, then it comes to all the same. Like if we did J-Lady work shuttle, we go to vertical, horizontal, vertical to here. So we're still doing vertical to horizontal. See, we're still abiding by that concept. Because vertical horizontal is critical in your transitions. Because you go from here to here, and then you go back down. So when you're in the hook position, and you go to single whip, you have to sink the elbow in order to do this, right? When I lift the elbow, I have to drop the elbow. I cross, and I lift, and then we open, and then we turn like this, right? So to avoid any conflict and tension is to keep moving. It's when you stop, it starts to do that. Because then there's tension, and then there's a little bit of conflict. So, and then insert needle. So this is just to give you ideas. So when you're here, when we step, we turn, bring it down, and down. We lift up, turn the body, and come back forward. You see? So you always have to preset your position so that when you turn, then I can turn enough, but not overly turn. We don't turn square. Here again, just like in Bangbukun, right? The front foot and the lead hand. Front foot and the lead hand. So this is an alignment. And then once we're here, we're going to turn. This goes the opposite side. Sit back, turn the waist, and turn. You have to turn all the way around to here. So if you turn all the way around to there, you will see when they turn, I do that, Rob. Now hold the pause there though, in the balanced position. You look for your spine. The spine is going to the heel of that supporting foot. If you're here, right, where are we? We just did the turn, right? When we turn, if you just go like this and not turn the waist, you don't have your center controlled over the supporting leg. So the critical part of this is to turn. And then you can control the movement in the step. So how important is it to have that rotation of the spine is very important. It happens in everything that we do in a single-legged position. Right? The spine goes here to there. If I don't do that, and I just do that, my spine is missing the point, and you can't align your body for balance. So if your waist doesn't turn or the hips doesn't cooperate, then the flexibility to find that movement isn't developed enough. And that's really what we call the control factor. If you don't control your musculature, you can't control your skeleton. Because if there's tension, there's no movement. If you turn to this position and it locks out, then you're going to be here. You say, well, how come I can't keep my balance? It's because of that. Your center of gravity, center of mass has to shift to find the balance point. That's the whole idea of Tai Chi, is finding balance in motion. So that's the yin and yang. Yin and yang is what? When this pulls, this has to yield. When this turns, this has to yield. So your body's always in balance. But most of us are in imbalance because we don't move properly, and there's a lot of conflict, or even the body doesn't pick up on it. So when we're here and we sit back, we turn. Step down, and we turn. And we turn. We cross, and we open, and we push. and we close. So just like in the 42, when we're in single whip, here's the turn, here's the turn, here's the sitting. You see, the spine is here. When we turn, we shift, your spine is here. So that's what they call the vertical line, head and tail alignment, right? It's called Mi Lui Zhong Jing. Mi Lui is the tailbone. Zhong Jing is the center. En Hao Yuan is that's just thrusting to the top of the head. So between the head, or actually goes to the neck to the tailbone, has to be vertical. That's the in the classics, that's what they talk about, the vertical spine. So the vertical spine is an alignment. So we understand that concept. We're always trying to find that position regardless of where we go. So that's why in single whip you actually turn, not single, in the strum the lute you're actually like this, not like this. You see? Because here unstable. When you're here and you turn, now you're stable. You see? So that's the body form for structure, and has to be relaxed. That's this side and this side. Right? So just to make the connection between the opening and the Wu style Tai Chi, we still do that. Because before we can go to horizontal position to go over this knee, we have to be here and then here. That's your waist movement. So everything has that waist movement, because without the waist movement you can't tie the upper to the lower. That's a key principle for tying upper lower. If you don't use your waist, then you can't. In Kung Fu it's the same thing, David. So use your waist, learn to use your torso more. Waist, when you turn, because then this and this will tie together. In your weapons, the same thing. When you do this, then you tie your waist together. It's in everything. It's the same concept. So we're here, and I turn. I have to turn like this, but the hand comes to here before I go like this. Now my body's turned again. I come down, and I'm here. I turn my waist to divert. Now I'm diverting here so I can neutralize, but then I have to come back to here in order to push, because I have to come to here to get to this position, to come to this position. So the power comes from the legs, but it's all relying on the vertical spine before you go. Now when we turn here, same thing, over that leg. So that's trying to find our center. But at the same time, all this twisting and turning is the opening and closing of the hips. The opening and closing of hips allows you to manipulate your ankle, your knee, and your hip as a unit. And that happens on both sides. So all this stuff, when we do this, 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 turn, open, is all leg work. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go to the 5 coordinations: hand, eye, body, waist, and stance. Right? Hand, eye, body, waist, and stance. The stance is the last thing. That's your footwork. That's the ma bu. Right? The ma bu incorporates the stance, incorporates the transition, the motion, and the step. Then you have bu fat, the stepping methods. So all of this is the guiding principles. So we've got 5 minutes. We want to run through 42 before we end. Okay, so put all that into it as a concept if you can. Ready? Ready? Preparation, begin. You okay? Gotta go? Turn your shoulders, turn your spine. Sink and relax. Turn. Okay, good. Deep breathing. Okay, ready? We'll bow. Salute. Okay, good. Oh, Sonny back? Oh boy. When did you get back? Yesterday? He was in LA.